through that entire phenomenon, we kept saying it, that there wasn't a specific exchange rate that we were targeting. Remember, the exchange rate, as we always say, is an endogenous, variable. It must move. It can move by the minute, it can move by the second, it can move by the day. And that is the framework we have, what we call a flexible, a managed floating system. That is what we maintain. Now, when a currency appreciates sharply, it brings on board other phenomena. And we are beginning to see some of those phenomena at play. For example, immediately imports become a lot cheaper. And so you find that people who wouldn't have been settling their import bills that early, they find it cheaper to do so. And so it's just natural to begin to see pressure build up on the currency just because of the sharp appreciation that occurred. So for us, what you see out there as pressure is just a cash flow. The macroeconomic fundamentals are very strong. As at the end of June, you saw all the numbers. Growth is strong. The external sector is very much viable. The current account is very strong. You've seen the surplus. You've seen the trade account. The balance of payment is as strong, strongest than ever before. And so in terms of the macroeconomics, nothing has changed. Things are actually looking good. Inflation is on the downward decline, as you know. And so ideally, there shouldn't be pressure on the local currency. Rather, what is happening is just because of the sharp appreciation, we were beginning to have some, some cash flow problems. Now, why specifically? Again, because we've seen some decline in terms of remittance inflows. That also I can explain the phenomenon at play. We've had some IMTOs and other remittance companies beginning to pull a fast one, beginning to use other channels. Over the last 2 months, for example, we have seen very limited interbank trading. And so you find that unless the central bank is there, supporting the market, then you would see pressure building up. So when you talk about market demand, it doesn't have to be the central bank alone. Remember, the banks ought to have their own inflows that accrue through remittances, inflows that accrue through trade. It is true that certain inflows, like from mining, for example, those accrue to us. And so it makes sense that we support the markets using, those inflows that come in. And so one of the things we have done this week is we have written to the mining firms, right, for such inflows to be redirected to the commercial banks. And all these is meant to help, improve interbank trading, in foreign FX. That way they are able to support imports and other flows without necessarily, waiting for the central bank to come in with some support.